Dobra, witajcie wszyscy. No, znalazłem też tam, nie wiem czy, nie znam się na tej gry, ale pogram sobie, zobaczę czy to jest. Zobaczę co to jest. Skup pamięci ukraińskiej. Dziwaczne. Pierwszy raz pogram. Nie wiem co to jest. Będę śleźwa, będę oznaczony okno. Ojejku, będzie chyba ciężko. Dobra. Zobaczę.
Holmes.
Nie wiem. Tu? Wyjście.
Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad. Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate.
Policja. Skład 9 pamięci.
Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter. has been
Piotr.
murdered.
Dziwaczne.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful
Niestety nie ma
client
polskiej
sent me a vase collection this
polskiej
morning.
literatury,
I couldn't
ale
think
to
of a better
napisy,
use for
to
it.
wytoczę.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's
Ja,
Lee,
dobra,
Mr. Holmes.
dziwaczne.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several
Proszę.
appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
Ale dobra.
I shall go alone then.
Dobra. Tabula. Przeszukaj. Zbadaj morderstwa. Zbadaj nity. Wybierz garnitur twojego widowiska. Zobaczę garnitur. Ciężko będzie. Dobra, wybierz garnitur twojego.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Kurde, jak ktoś się wstawia. Czekaj, gdzie jest ten garnitur? Nie ma tego.
My archive. I can...
Tutaj? Nie, tutaj nie ma. A tu? Nie, nie.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
Dobra. Nie. Czekaj, gdzie jest ten garnitur?
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
Może ten? O, dobra. Nie wiem. Toaletki. Dobra, takie. Nie, pytaty. Nie, może być. Dobra. A nie, to jest strzelany. Czekaj, gdzie ten? Kurczę. Czekaj. Biegnij się w otwórzkę, tak? O, dobra.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
Gdzie ten? Czekaj. Jak się nazywa to miasto?
You go along to Peter Carey's
Nie, nie
house.
ma.
Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you...
Ten.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Ojej, jak to się ustawia? Ten. wszystko? Bo nie wiem. O, dobra. Nie wiem, kiedy to.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was
Nie
open,
był poziom.
but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream, but I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Czekaj, zobaczę czy ustawić. Nie da. Dobra, trudno.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Never mind.
Good. Good.
You have
Nie da
indeed
się,
suffered a
przepraszam.
great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
O. Ojej.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey.
Nie, to
Nevertheless,
się
I
zepsuło.
believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Nie. No to.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Zbadaj Petera. Dobra. No, chyba nic nie widzę.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see. These scratches are fresh.
Där sitter
You're
kärnan.
right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Ja, przepraszam, muszę też ustawić. Poczekajcie chwilkę. Zapomniałem ustawić. Dobra, jeszcze tylko patrzę, czy wszystko w porządku. Dobra, tutaj nic nie ma. Dobra, dobra, okej, dobra. No, zobaczymy, co jest w środku. Ojego, ale stary. O.
What a terrible way to die. This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Czekaj, jakieś misje. Czekaj. No, dobra, okej.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. Someone drank from this glass recently. Someone drank from this glass recently. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
No, jak to się kłada? O kurde. Kurczę, jak to układać? nie potrafię jakoś układać.
Yes, this is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and
Próbowałem,
very
ale też
popular
jest nie
among
tak.
sailors. Rum, a sailor's drink.
Dobra.
It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death. The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook.
Dobra, chyba nie ma. Czekaj.
The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
O, dirty.
These abbreviations mean something, but what? This wooden handle is plain and solid. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
Tak ciekawe. Dobra, zobaczymy dalej.
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
Chyba wszystko pada.
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The murder weapon was probably taken from this rack.
Nie wiem, czy jeszcze czegoś brakuje. Nie wiem.
Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
Dobra, chyba wszystko, bo nie. Nie wiem, coś jeszcze?
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
No, jeszcze nie.
Mr. Holmes?
Nie wiem, wszystko badało.
Aha. Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain
Trochę
entry.
trudne dla mnie. Nie, wykładałem chyba wszystko.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Dobra, chyba iść, okej.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha. So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us. These boots don't match the footprints. These footprints appear to be quite large. These footprints
but
appear
these
to be
were
quite
probably
large.
Badaj, śpiesz, badaj. Tutaj nie ma.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after
No,
it?
to może być.
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
U,
Thank you,
nie
madam.
było.
Mr. Holmes?
Tutaj.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Czekaj.
Mr. Holmes?
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
No nie wiem, ciebie jeszcze brakuje. No tutaj nie ma. Nie. To jest badane. No chyba środkowo nie ma. To jeszcze brakuje.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
These footprints appear. It seems that the garden was well maintained. This window is locked from the inside. I do not see any attempt at a...
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Dobra, nie wiem, czy jeszcze brakuje.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Ja, chyba się udało. No jeszcze trochę potrwa. Ile mamy czekać? A już, dobra.
Shh. Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector. But please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Ojejku.
Mr. Holmes?
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
O, tutaj nie ma.
Mr. Holmes?
Locked.
A tutaj zamknięty.
These are the suspect's belongings. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something, but what? A pocket knife. It was used to force the door
No,
of Peter
dobra,
Carey's
idziemy
cabin.
dalej.
To my friend from R. Dawson. And partner, 1883. Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. A handkerchief with the initials JHN.
Zobaczymy.
Does this notebook belong to you?
yes. But where did you find it? I did not know. I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh no, I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
Jeszcze na razie. Może to.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago.
Ah, I
You
see.
would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner.
Czekaj, jak ktoś jest? Czekaj, tak. Nie, dzięki. Czekaj. Gdzie mam mordo? Nie, nie, dzięki. Nie ma sensu. Ja nie szukam. Czekaj, który był? Gdzie jeszcze brakuje? Gdzie? A. Dobra, mam. A, dobra, lepiej.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please let me go. I'm innocent.
Dobra, tutaj nie. Ja nie będę.
Mr. Holmes?
No tutaj co tam jest? Nie wiem. No nie wiem, nie potrafię ile to jest.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I am sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Dobra, tutaj chyba nie ma. Tutaj jaki? Tutaj nie ma.
Locked.
Mr. Holmes?
Dobra, chyba wszystko. To jedzie nie ma. Chyba. nie gadam, ale też nie pasuje. Dobra. Jejku, ale długo trwa. Dobra, jest. Dobra, chyba się udało.
Spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe.
Dobra,
Do you want to slit some more
dobra,
pigs'
poczekaj, ja
throats?
skończę rozmowę.
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Dobra, ja sprawdzę, czy wszystko gra. Dobra, chyba szybka gra. Dobra.
I need to take a harpoon with me. Brave Toby. The best known... My analysis
Dobra,
table.
dobra, ci
It is
też
useful for my work.
Nie wiem, czy tu ma harpun.
That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need. That is not... That is not the one I need. That is not the one... That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need.
Tyle to jest.
That is not the one I
Yeah.
need.
Może tak.
That is not the...
Właśnie. Dobra.
Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Dobra, to lubię. Nie wiem gdzie trwa. Czekaj. A to już był, ale dobra, idzie dalej.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Czekaj, muszę zobaczyć, bo nie wiem, się duch w głowie. Ja poszukam ducha. Tutaj nie wiem, czy było.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
No nie wiem, tutaj nie wiem. Dobra, tutaj nie wiem.
My archive. I can always consult. This is where I keep my archive. I can always consult with. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. I need to take a harpoon with me.
Czekaj, muszę sprawdzić, bo nie wiem, chyba się... Ale nie wiem, gdzie mają. Nie. Czekaj, a może wiem gdzie, ale nie tu.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
O, ciema, Krystian, ciema. Dobra, które to może być? Dobra.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much.
No, ciema, Krystian, jeśli nie słyszysz.
What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise, yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to... Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
Aj. O, chyba się udało.
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Dobra, pewnie cię, że nie widzę.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Dobra, muszę coś sprawdzić. Zanim pójdę. Dobra, okej, już. Nie wiem, co dalej. Nie, to już było. Nie, to już byłem. Nie, to już nie ma nic. Dobra, tutaj chyba nie ma. Okej, to chyba jeszcze raz. Zobaczcie.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
Nie wiem, do spania? Nie.
A map of London and the surrounding area. Brave to... My analysis table. It is useful for my work. My archive. This is where I keep my post.
Nie wiem, brakuje tylko dwóch, ale nie mogę znaleźć. Że tutaj. Ja nie wiem, chyba się trochę pogubiło.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Nie wiem, chyba trochę się pogubiło. Nie, tutaj. Nie wiem, nic tu nie ma. Może tu?
Mr. Holmes?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Tutaj nie ma.
Mr. Holmes?
These are the suspect's belongings. A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. These abbreviations mean... Locked. Locked.
Mr. Holmes?
Well, I will see you soon, young
Chyba
man.
się to wszyscy.
Mr. Holmes?
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a...
Dobra, chyba na dzisiaj wystarczy, bo jeszcze później poszukam. Wejdę tam na informację, może poszukam. Dobra, na dzisiaj koniec chyba. Musimy dość spać. No nie wiem, chyba trochę się pogubiło. Dobra, no to na dzisiaj chyba już koniec. Więc muszę ustawić. No to trzymajcie się.